Welcome to the Girl Power Alliance podcast, where you're going to meet and hear from some inspiring women with incredible stories who are leading in business and in faith. We are on a mission to impact the world by empowering women to dream bigger through kingdom-minded mentoring and leadership. This is where women grow. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Power Alliance podcast. As usual, I have an absolutely phenomenal woman on here today. Let me read a little bit about Lisa Stewart. She's the creative visionary behind Getting Healthy LLC, an international coaching platform to assist people to create health physically, mentally, and financially. Lisa is an entrepreneur at heart. She previously was a top real estate broker. She's established and owned multiple real estate companies, and she's taken her passion for people and grew that into a 7-figure coaching practice. She follows the sun, spending summers in Southern Oregon and winters in Arizona, where she hikes year-round. She checked off a bucket list item by hiking the Grand Canyon last year. Oh, I'm going to have to talk to you about that. I'll ask you in a minute. Let me finish your bio. See, I'm already excited. Lisa will inspire you to live your one life as your best. She desires to live by example and assist others to a life of freedom. In the midst of a pandemic and quarantine, Lisa felt drawn to start a new business. I'm so excited for you guys to hear about this. TanX N More. It's a tank thing with a power quote to wear boldly. Lisa believes the power of words can shape someone's life and is on a mission to help encourage women to wear power words or quotes. I literally love that, and I had chills when I said it.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
I'm so excited to have you here. Okay, I want to ask you more about yourself, but before we do that, when you hiked the Grand Canyon, did you guys do rim to rim?
So we did rim to river to rim. It was 17 and a half miles.
Wow.
10 hours. And then we were scheduled to do it again this year, which I can't believe. You know, it's kind of like childbirth after childbirth. You say never again. So I agreed to do it again. Well, then the park got shut down. So
so you should have done it.
Yes. Well, we did it once and we were going to do it again.
But I mean, during the pandemic, it got shut down. So you would have already done it the second time.
Yes.
By now.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. God works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he does. Well, I appreciate having you on. I know our conversation, I have so many things I want to ask you, but before I kind of like dive in and start picking through all of the things, will you share a little bit more about yourself? Because, you know, the bio only says so much.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm super excited. And one, that you have the most amazing people on your podcast. Great podcast. I've enjoyed listening to it every day and getting caught up on it. And a little bit about me is I live in Southern Oregon and had a real estate office. Started that back 30 years ago. At this time of year, I was actually studying for my first real estate exam and found out that I fell in love with it. I was good at it because I think some people are result driven, and that's totally me. It's like God put it in my heart to do it. I was a dental assistant. I was a young mom, had 2 little kids at home, and wanted something more, wanted something that I could still be a part of my kids' life, but something that I could do something for other people. In real estate, of course, I got into it 30 years ago and the market wasn't great, but I had fun with it. And that's one thing I think is super important, is finding something that you love that you can have fun with. And along the way, 3 years in, I opened my own office. Totally God led it. God put it on my heart. He opened every door to make it happen. And it was called Premier Real Estate Services. Got bought out by a Coldwell Banker franchise. They were number 1 office. I was number 2 office. And 3 years in, they came and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. But what I decided is I don't work well for other people. I don't know if anyone else deals with that. It's like I just have that, I know what I can do and want to do, and I'm result driven and go, go, go. So I went after my non-compete was up and opened another real estate office. And in the middle of all that, found out that I I enjoyed business, not just real estate business. I opened an Aveda salon and spa during that time. I opened a boutique. So I had 3 businesses going.
While
And
you had 2 little kids.
well, we had 3 kids at that point and they were older.
Okay.
But that's about when the real estate market in life kind of changed and real estate was going down and businesses were going. So it was a stressful time, but God provided like never before. And I don't know what I would do without having that faith behind me to say, God, you put me in this position, help me do the right steps.
It's such an important thing, and, I've really been studying since I mean, I've been studying for years, but when I knew that God was calling me to something new, like a year ago, I really dived in even deeper into studying how to and how others do really hear the voice of God more clearly. And so it's as you look back on different phases of your life, it's really remarkable. As a believer, and I think this even happens for non believers, they don't maybe recognize it, but I can see it. But how God literally will direct your steps, like whether it looks like something maybe negative. So for you, the real estate markets are getting like crazy, and so, but God had already prepared you by giving you the desire to and the ambition to start other businesses to sustain you. So, did you just let that go at that point?
Real estate always stayed very steady and busy for me, thankfully. But I ended up closing our boutique. We had a higher dollar boutique, and people aren't having jobs. You're not going to buy
Right.
$150 pair of jeans. So a little shift there, the word of the year this year is pivot and shift. We didn't say that back then. It was, try to survive back then.
Right.
It was totally different, but God was good through all of it. We found things that about ourselves, good and bad. And I think that's the important part is when we do go through those hard times, those tough times, the times where we question, okay, God, where are you? Is He's right there the whole time. And sometimes you just have to slow down, quiet, and listen.
It's so important, and it's a hard lesson to learn, through all of the many things that God has allowed me to go through. Some of them I, created myself with maybe bad decisions or whatever, being hasty, going before God. But right, like I think we can all relate to that. But one of the things that I learned over the years was instead of asking, "Okay, God, why are you doing this? Why is this happening?" I switched the question to, okay, God, what do you want me to learn? Instead of why, which took me so much longer to get through whatever that circumstance was. Instead of saying, why, it's okay, God, what is it you want me to learn? What is it you want me to do? What steps do you want me to take? And that was a pivotal shift for me personally. So so you're a working mom, you're an entrepreneur, you own multiple businesses, you're, wife, mom, businesswoman, and then you transitioned into the health world. What did that look like?
So, our identity, you start young. I got married young, 2 kids right the day I got married. Um, and then pretty soon we had another one. And I was mom from the time I was 20 years old. I was a wife and a mom, and that's who I was. And then I became a realtor, and that's who I was. And I was good at all of those.
Yeah.
But sometimes we put that identity in that and it drives, it was like I was just driven and driven. And I caught myself making unhealthy choices. You're going to go show a house, you drive through and grab whatever you can eat while you're driving to go to your next appointment. And food is so social.
Yes.
I have friends call, hey, let's go have coffee. Let's go have lunch. Let's
Mhm.
go, and it was all, I always said it was those tax write off business that made me gain weight. But all of a sudden, I'm 60 pounds overweight. All my kids had left home at this point. So it's just Gary and I. And a lot of times it was just easier. We both worked all day to leave work and you could go have happy hour.
Mhm.
And but it was not just us having it, it was friends and business people. And so it was very social. And I caught myself, I was 60 pounds overweight and I got home from Cabo. And I remember that trip to Cabo. And I had to go buy new swimwear, new shorts that would fit. And I remember that feeling is I've tried everything. I've done it all. And finally, a friend sent me a message, said, "Hey, we're going to lose some weight and get healthy." And I think her words were skinny. But look, we're going to all do this. Do you want in? And because of FOMO, I didn't want to be the large friend left behind. So I said, "Yeah, I'm in." I didn't even know. So ended up losing 60 pounds.
Wow.
And during that, my real estate office was crazy busy, but everybody's asking me, "What are you doing?" And I'm here. And I found out that I loved helping people feel as good. I had confidence before, but when you eat healthy, you feel healthy, you think healthy, you want everyone to feel that good.
You do.
So it kind of just started out slowly like that. In between showing houses, I'm like, "Oh yeah, hey, I got something for you. What's and it just blossomed from that to 4 years ago in May, I actually closed my real estate office and I do this full time. And it's been phenomenal. Having a home in Arizona where two of our married kids and our five grandkids are, and then in Oregon, so we get out of the heat, but come back up here and be with family here. So that I love that freedom of it, which real estate, you didn't always have the freedom that went with it. Still licensed in 2 states. I do a lot of referrals. And so I get to keep that part of me. Once
Alive.
it's in your
Yeah.
blood, once it's in your blood, it's always there. So that's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, my mom's been in real estate for probably, let's see, how old am I for? It's just probably for over 30 years. And it's in your blood. She keeps her license always. She always threatens to go get her brokers just because. But yeah, I mean, and it's kind of the same for me. I, haven't done hair in many years, but I keep my license. It's kind of always, I feel like, I mean, if that was your first career, being a stylist, that was my first career. It's kind of always part of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. And I think, I mean, it sounds to me like, God kind of built into you the desire to just help people.
Yes, absolutely. And I think all of us have that in us. It's whether you allow God to use you to help other people and to what degree.
Yeah. And, I was really struck by your story that, in the middle of this craziness, which I could relate to because Girl Power Alliance started in the middle of the pandemic too, but like that you just felt this call. And I think this is the thing that I would like to stay on for a minute because I know that there are women listening that feel a whisper. There's a whisper, there's a call, there's something that God has been saying to them. And they either don't have confidence in it or they think that can't be God, or they're like, that's too scary. So, will you share a little bit about kind of how your brand new business, which if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see her hat. She's branding it as we speak. How this came to be, how this was born.
Yeah, so I was involved with the mastermind, and one of the things they do, and that's why I love being part of your group and your Girl Power Alliance, is I think it's so important to be involved with women that do want more out of life. Because I'm the type I can come up with, I can start 100 businesses tomorrow. My mind just starts and goes. But I think it's so important, and that's why I was excited for you to start your group to be part of that and bring more people into that, because I know the power behind first surrounding yourself with like-hearted and like-minded women that want the best for you. So it kind of started with that and kind of the ideas swarming, and all of a sudden now we're stuck at home and we can't go to the gym. You can't, all the little, not that we did a whole lot of extra stuff, but we had grandkids ball games every night. So instead of going stir crazy, it's like, what's something we could do together? And we just started. I said, I've always kind of had in the back of my head, I always wear either a shirt or sweatshirt, but I wear tank tops majority of the time. It's a little colder here today. But I'm like, I love power words. I think that words have the power of life or misery. And what we speak, what we say, what we think is so important. And it just kept coming to me. And I just kept feeling like I wear tank tops. I have them made a lot of times just for me,
Yeah.
or I'll buy them. And I have people just reach out that don't even know me and will say, "Can I ask you where you got that tank top?" And I'm like, yeah, I bought it here. I had it made or whatever. And I don't know. God totally put it on my heart. Was not prepared thinking, oh yeah, let's do this. But it kind of just started and I was like, everything from the point the people we're working with for our printing to our distributors started back in January when we went to Cabo San Lucas, and my friends from Washington came and helped do some mission work in Cabo with us. And they're like, you need to start a tank top business. And they own a business that does different things. So it was kind of all these little steps along the way. And all of a sudden it clicks because I think there again, life slowed down, life got quiet, and we weren't as busy. So you have more time to listen to what God keeps putting on your heart. And you're like, oh, all these little puzzle pieces are starting to make sense now. That's why that happened.
Mm,
So we started, it's called TanX N More, TANX, and then the letter N, more. But we do, it's a tank top monthly subscription. So I didn't want to get in the business
brilliant. Love it.
having tank tops and shirts on that I have to have 100 of every one. I want women to have power word on their chest, but more than that, I want women to be excited, anticipation. They're going to get a gift in the mail every month and not know what it's going to be because I think, especially moms, we give and do for everybody else that we don't always take care of ourselves. So something to, in fact, our first order gets mailed out on the 15th.
How exciting.
And people are like, I can't wait for my order. What's it going to say? What's it going to say? And
So is it
because
a
you don't know.
surprise?
Yes. So it's a
Oh,
surprise. So
that's
it's
cool.
anticipation of you're going to get a power word. It will be a different kind of tank top every month, a different saying every month. And you can, sometimes we'll have maybe in the winter, maybe a lightweight sweatshirt or something that we do in between. But just adding, I think is so important as women. We always can say, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. But sometimes if you just look and see whatever you have across your chest, it's like, oh, enough, love, whatever it is, start believing that.
Wow.
With your order, you get a little postcard. I should have brought one in here with me. And on the back, it has words of affirmation. It has a Bible verse on it. And every order we send out, I'm not there at the distributors, but before they go out, we have the list of all the names. They all get prayed over. And I
Oh,
think that's super important because, you know, we all can use as much prayer as possible, but just knowing someone out there said your name and talked to God about you.
Lisa, this is so awesome. I'm like tearing up. It's funny when God inspires something, you can like feel it in your spirit. And I just think what you're doing is so beautiful and how awesome that they don't even know what they're getting. That even makes like I would be excited even if I knew what I was getting, but not knowing. You're right. It's like you're getting this little gift every month. So what a huge blessing. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. I'm excited and excited you'll start seeing more. I sent out some sample packets last week to some friends just to say, hey, give me some feedback. How's this? Do I need to change anything? And getting great feedback. Of course, it's always scary launching something
Yes,
new
it is.
and thinking, okay, God, did I hear this right? um, especially when there's little stumbles along the way. And I think that's part of it is
Yes.
not to say why me, but why not me? And to be able to say, why is this happening to me instead of, why is this happening for me?
Yeah.
And shifting that to say, okay, God's put us in this position with the people that we're working with in all areas of this business. There's a reason. And something bigger will become of this. We're not sure what. We've been really praying about. We want to do more with mission work. And,
Mm,
someone said to me, why do you worry about creating more income? I said, because the more I make, the more I can give.
amen.
And this is our little giving ministry over here that we're working towards.
That is so awesome. And my mind is just swirling. I'm like you with ideas. And I'm just excited to see what God does with what you're doing because I know it's for a bigger purpose. And when you have the heart that you have to just be open to whatever God's kind of pointing you toward, I think remarkable and like world-changing things can happen. So if a woman is listening right now and she is like, I think I might be hearing this thing. What would you say to that woman?
I would just sit down and I would just start journaling, write it down, and just kind of see a little at a time. It's kind of, the once you start thinking of something, it all starts coming together. I always tell people I've kind of considered getting a new car, and I think, I don't know why I like the new Jeep. And you know what? I see Jeeps everywhere. You see the white Jeep jacked up, everything, which in the past that's was not me. And it's that same thing. Once you start thinking about something, writing it down, do a little research on it. And I think people today, especially with everything that's going on, the shift in our economy, the shift in our jobs, every woman out there, find a second, third income source. It's super important. And anything you can do online, anything you can do from your home, that you don't have to have a storefront, that you can sell your clothes online, whatever it is you want to do. Because you know what? Will this happen again? I don't know.
Hope not.
And but do something that your heart loves. But I would say the biggest thing is surround yourself with people that, being part of your group, the girl power. It's like, go join Girl Power Alliance, because you know what? Those are the people that are going to give you honest feedback. You're going to be surrounded by women that can come in and say, you know what? That's a great idea, because someone that has never been there, or someone that is not entrepreneurial, someone that's a negative Nelly, they're going to tell you, don't do that.
Yeah.
So only take advice, and only surround yourself, and only tell that dream, that hope, that plan to people that want to see you grow, want to see you get better. And don't just because someone, and it could be your family telling you
Yeah.
no. And I've been there, and we've all have. You sure you should do that? And, I'll stop and listen and make sure they're not telling me what I need to hear. But it's like, no, they're telling me that because of fear. So don't let fear hold you back. Surround yourself, pray about it, and go for it.
That is such wonderful advice, and I think it happens to all of us. Like, you get excited about something maybe, and you share it with people, and you're 100% right, because of their own fear and lack of desire to whatever, take the steps or go out of their comfort zone. They inadvertently like crush you. And so having this support system of people around you that are actively growing, actively pursuing, that are actively working towards something is so important. And I've kind of coined this phrase that has become something I talk about all the time since we launched GPA, but I'm calling it supernatural synergy, because what I have experienced, and I've been around some amazing people in my life, but what I have experienced here with Girl Power Alliance and the women that God is bringing to the table is something so like, I can feel it. I can feel it now when I'm talking to you. It's not just like-minded, like you said, but of the same heart, like having a desire to do more, for more, to tell more people about Jesus, to shine that light. And so it's exponentially, the creativity goes exponentially bigger, faster, and stronger. And so when you take women, more than one woman, put them together like that, amazing things happen. Here we've only been launched a very short period of time, and girls have already planned trips together. They're connecting in business, and we're tiny. We're a baby still. And
Yeah.
that's what God is doing with these relationships. So I hope if you're listening, you'll actually go backwards and listen to what she said again and write it down. That is key advice, no matter what your age is, no matter where you live. Of course, if you're listening to this, join Girl Power Alliance because we're your people, but
Yes.
find people in your life that will breathe life into you and speak that over you, pray with and for you, and support these God given dreams and directions.
And I think it's so important with that, when you are part of a group like GPA, um, you're able to bounce ideas off. You're able to say, hey Michelle, what do you think about this? Can I change this? And take honest feedback, because they want the best for you. So I can't say enough about, I know this wasn't to plug all you, but I have to say, it is groups like this that will help you be more creative, will help you come up with what is my next step, because you might have some connections that, or I
Yeah.
might have some connections that can help that next woman that's thinking, can I do that?
Yeah. I mean, and it already is happening. I absolutely plan on doing things with Lisa and TanX N More. I already know it's going to happen in the future here. And I'm excited. I don't know if you've already done this, but I hope you'll post a little bit more about what you're doing on the GPA page,
Yeah.
just so women can know, because I think what you're doing is really special. And I'm an idea person. It never ends. And let's just be honest, probably 50% of them are just crap ideas. But the thing is, even with a crap idea, when you share it with people in this forum of people that are growing, the seed of a bad idea God can use to plant with somebody else that turns into something really remarkable. And so I never shy away from sharing all of my ideas, even if they might be terrible. You never know. That terrible idea could be all broken and bruised up, but somebody will take it and turn it into something amazing.
I love that. I love that. Yes.
Well, okay. Tell everybody how and where they can find you.
Okay, I am on Instagram and Facebook, both as, you can find me at Getting Healthy Lisa or at TanX N More, TANX, the letter N, more. And the website is tanxnmore.com. My Facebook and Instagram are both the Getting Healthy Lisa. And on Tuesdays, I do my Tuesday talk. And Michelle was actually my guest a couple weeks ago, and have amazing women each week on there. It's a great group to listen in on.
Man, I'm in good company there. I feel very unworthy to be in the lineup that you have there. If you're listening on the podcast, all of Lisa's information will be in the show notes, so you can just go there and connect with her directly. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, all the details will be right below this video. And she is one of our very first members here at Girl Power Alliance. She's going to do great things. I mean, I literally feel like we need to just plan like a check-in in 6 months, because I know that God's going to do great things. He already has done great things, but this brand new baby business, I think is for some purpose that you don't even know yet. So,
And that's, in fact, it's funny. Gary and I, my husband, we pray over it every morning, and we're like, we don't know why this happened, why it happened now. Gary just turned 60. I'm in my 50s. And it's like, why are we starting something new now? So when God puts it on your heart, he has a reason. So just go with it and trust him along the way, and plug in with people that will help move you forward.
thank you so much. There's so many valuable pieces of truth. I know you'll be hearing from Lisa again. And again, I just want to say to you, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you've done. You've already done a number of things. And thank you for listening, for the call, and not being done yet.
Yeah. Never too late.
Never too late.
Keep doing more.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
That woman just inspires the heck out of me. I just love her. Matter of fact, I am wearing one of her tanks right now. I am a faithful subscription member to TanX N More. Love her. Love what she's doing. Love her heart and her mission. And if you feel like God has put something on your heart, go for it. It's never too late. This is one of the things I'm so passionate about. If you think you're hearing from God, you are hearing from God. Take some steps, reach out, get some help, join Girl Power Alliance, where you have an entire crew of women that will support you, encourage you, help you, equip you, right? That's what we're all about. We are all about helping to dial in to this voice that you've been hearing, this passion, turning it into a reality and impacting as many lives as we can through the marketplace. It's pretty awesome. Thank you to Lisa and all of the women who are out there just following the call and making it happen. And if you have not already heard, we have a summit coming up. Girl Power Alliance is hosting the Bloom Summit. We are expecting transformations to happen, miracle growth to happen. Head over to thebloomsummit.com and get registered. And if you're not already a member of Girl Power Alliance, you absolutely should be. There's absolutely no reason to wait. And matter of fact, our members get to attend this virtual summit for free. So there's another benefit. Go over to girlpoweralliance.com. Check us out on social media. It's Girl Power Alliance all the way across. And never forget that Girl Power Alliance is where women grow.